Welcome to my humble abode. This is Keith, chilling at the Cypress Creek Preserve or something like that. I don't know what they call it. Somebody else calls it that. I just call it the old fucking creek. But yeah, I'm out here. It's Wednesday. I wanted to make a video about a certain church I was going to and talk like mad shit about it. I'm like, you know what? That's kind of trivial in context. So what I actually want to talk about is something way bigger. Okay. So I was cruising home on my bike last night, which is right there. You can't see it. And I was thinking about a lot of stuff. Okay. And I think I'm basically just going to cover all that stuff in this video. So I actually recorded the whole thing. And it started out as a little freestyle. I was recording, I was just, freestyling. And then I just started talking about stuff, and it got pretty philosophical or whatnot. Philosophical, I mean, that sounds like it's not the right word for it. It's just more or less like it turned to a discussion about big things. Philosophical is kind of like it sounds like it's perceptive, you know what I mean? Like subjective, perceptive, subjectively perceptive. But what I'm seeing is more or less like what's really going on, I feel like. A lot of people today seem so confused that they don't even they don't think there is such thing as an objective perception of reality. They think it's just oh no, it's your perception. Okay, that's a little bit crazy in my opinion. Okay, and I'll give you an example of something that happened last night. Last night I rode my bike all the way back, came up to the apartments that I'm staying at right now, and there's some raccoons. And my neighbors, I know, go outside and have a little pellet gun and they try to shoot those fucking raccoons. I'm like, you fucking assholes. I don't like that. I like raccoons. Raccoons are fucking smart as fuck. They're fucking smart as fuck. And so I was just chilling, seeing the raccoons. I was still recording. And, I go chill. They had little babies. They had 4 little babies. There's a little fence where it's double-sided. So there's a little cross path in between the little top edge, And there was 4 little babies just sticking their heads up out of the top edge. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is super cute. So I went to go look at them, thinking maybe I could be cool with the babies before they get, if they were to get antisocial. But lo and behold, I walk over there, I know I had some food in my backpack. I'm like, I could probably lure them in or something, but I didn't even have to. They just rolled right up to me and were chilling. They're like, what's up? The big adult ones were rolling right up to me, and they'd be crawling up, coming up to me and everything. They're chill. Raccoons, see. And so what I'm trying to explain about that, what's relevant about that, which I think people could learn from, is, they're intelligent enough to be cautious, because they would, if I made a sudden movement, they jump, but they're not too cautious. It's not it's not like they're overrun by these thoughts that they make up in their brain. No, they're actually paying attention to what you're doing. If I made a sudden movement, they'd be startled, but they'd read it and then they'd react properly. Some people for instance, I was riding and there was deer. I was barely doing nothing, and the deer's just I'm out of here, and they fucking jetted, no questions asked. The raccoons, though, I might make a movement and they'd be like, what's up? But then they'd read you and see if you're gonna fuck with them, and then they can read you. They made proper reads and had proper reactions. And I mean, you could say that that's how could, I don't know, some people, I feel like they're all up in their minds, and they do kind of what the deer did. They'll run away when the littlest thing happens, because they're all full of their own little thoughts about what's going on. That's crazy in my opinion. That's crazy. So I think people could learn a little bit from the raccoons. Anyway, So let's get started on the main topic of discussion, okay? I know that's a really weird way to start a video, but you know, it was super relevant because the raccoons, I'm telling you, they're fucking chill as fuck. And you know, I was kind of pissed about my neighbors trying to shoot them with pellet guns, and that's something I was talking about yesterday, man. People think they can do whatever they want as long as it's not illegal, basically, or as long as it's not like I mean, that's fucked up. Those raccoons are smart as fuck. They're like, see, like right here, they got some bulldozers over here. They're about to cut down some trees and shit. Like, who said people could do this? Why do people think they can just do whatever the fuck they want and like fuck everything up? Like, you know what I mean? Fuck that shit. Like, you got people talking about animal rights and shit. Like, there's a degree. There is the food chain, okay? We're gonna eat food. We're gonna eat animals. We get really fucking hungry, we're gonna eat. But you know, there's a point where like, we got food right now. We got food. There's no point in killing a deer or something around here, you know? Like, let this be, you know what I mean? And then people might be looking for like an objective thing with that or whatever. They're like, well, where do you draw the line? I mean, how hungry are you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, but there's just like a common sense factor that needs to play into every, like, common sense. Like, be like the raccoons. Like, be able to see, like, it's not the time. I don't know, man. People are fucking dumb. That's the easy way for me to say it. I have to be honest. People are fucking stupid. They all are like in their brains all the time with like these arbitrary ideas. Like, they all have these you might call them philosophies. They all have these philosophies or fucking whatever. And go around the world, people have different cultures. Certain things are cool in one place, not in the other. It's like, you know, common sense reigns superior to all that. Just like fucking being a fucking normal fucking human and fucking, you know, being normal. Like, it reigns superior. I don't care if in your fucking culture it's cool to do some weird fucking shit. You know, does common sense tell you it's not cool? Then don't fucking do it. Common sense, it's so fucking underrated, and so many people just fucking are retarded. On that note, anyway, so here's the main topic of discussion I want to get to, which is more relevant than the little church drama I was going to get into. You know, it's a way bigger concept, okay? And that's basically history, okay? If we study history, you know, we can study human history for one. We can study any length of history. We can study the last 20 years. We can study the last 40 years, 100 years, 200, 1,000, 2,000, 20,000, 100,000, 2 million, you know. We can study history to any degree. And the thing I love fucking history, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because when you study history, you can see what has already been done. Okay? You can see progress. Progress is evident in history. And to me, that is such a satisfying feeling, because I don't know why, but I just fucking, to me, just studying the progress, I'm like, oh my gosh, there is a direction, there is a purpose, there is a development in history. And you can see it if we study the history. You can study any length of history and see it. And I like to go to the biggest scale we know. We talk about the universe. They say like 13.5 billion years. I'm not sure how correct the science is with all that, but you know, that's the history, man. Just study history. Okay, so that being said, you know, if we study history, and like I said, the little church drama was stupid, it was trivial in context of the bigger context. You know, if we take the last 20 years, what is that in the context of the last 100 years? You know what I mean? Or the last 20 years in the context of the last 200? You know, 20 years is about how long we've had the internet. And that has had some significant changes on our lives. You know, I remember when I was about 10 years old, I'm 29 right now, they had these things called pen pals, and you would write a letter to some random person on the other side of the world, tell them what your life is like over here or wherever you are, and then they write one back telling you what their life is like, and you're like, oh my gosh, how cool, I can talk to another person on the other side of the world. Like, and now we have the internet, people are talking all day, every day, and they're just like, it's nothing. That's nothing. That was just 20 years ago. Before that, I don't know, like the changes are happening dramatically, and we can analyze the whole situation. Like another significant thing I think is the Industrial Revolution. That was like a little over 200 years ago. Also, sciences like Darwin's theory of evolution, survival of the fittest, and all that. People did not have a concept of that like 300 years ago. That was not a concept in anybody's brain, and people were just alive and boom. But we're figuring this stuff out, and it's so awesome to me. To me, that's like the most awesome thing. It's such a satisfying feeling to actually look and see the progress. So if we study history, we can really see the progress. And then that's like the human progress, like in the human sphere of, recorded history. But if we go back to like fucking biological history, there's still progress happening. And this can turn to a really I gotta think for a second. I can't just keep talking. I'm gonna be saying some shit that's unnecessary. The biological history, it's another. It's like it usurps the human history. Kind of the thing that I see that I think a lot of people don't is how maybe temporary all of this modern cultural bullshit is, okay? I do. I spend so much time in nature. By the way, I fucking love nature. I love being outside. I do. I love this moist. I just love everything. I love everything, man. I love everything. Okay, look. If you study history, we could study like the recorded history of mankind. Okay, there's been different cultures throughout time. Okay, throughout the last like 2,000, 4,000, whatever years. Okay, since Egypt and 15,000 Sumeria, whatever. If we go back to like caveman history, what was going on then? They had, I don't know, but it's not the point. The point is, I guess one thing I could say is, we existed in this sphere of, the natural world well before there was any man-made culture. And I know how to exist in this sphere. I like being out here. I love being out here. This is my place. You know what I mean? I love being outside. I love it. I cannot I don't even know. But if we go way back in history, talk about some biology, and like I said, I don't know how correct the science is. Science, the scientific theory just, it never proves anything correct, but it proves that hypotheses, or it doesn't prove, but experiments show that hypotheses stand the test of those experiments or whatever. I don't know, scientific method, whatever. I'm not sure how correct the science is on all of it, but according, what scientists are saying right now is like, we came from little prokaryotes, and turned into these cellular eukaryotic organisms and developed on and on and on until here we are now. And I mean, that's like beyond fascinating. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand. History is real. History is not like just like a story, a hypothetical thing. No, history explains the setting of the present situation. You know what I'm saying? History is a real thing. I was thinking about this the other day. They're cutting down these trees right here. And I was thinking, thank God for Theodore Roosevelt and that guy that he met that showed him, made him like nature so much. I forgot the guy's name. And then he passed the, what was it called? What was it called? The fucking like national park thing. He preserved a lot of land. And, if he didn't do that, a lot of the land that exists that's preserved right now might have been destroyed, just like this little place right here is being cut down, you know what I mean? And I mean, if that didn't happen, we could be in a different situation right now. And I mean, so it gives you, You know, if something else happened, if he decided that more land should be preserved, then, you know, more land might have been preserved. You know what I mean? History, it explains how we got here. I know, I mean, sometimes people read history and they're just like, oh yeah, like back in the day, but they don't realize that that's like the lineage that has led up to this. You know, real stuff has happened. And one of, I think one of the more significant things that's happened recently is the level of industrialization. And like I said, the last 200 years we've been industrialized, okay? And within that last 200 years, we've done so much to this fucking planet. We're like digging up oil, burning it into the atmosphere, and then fracking the ground and like breaking up layers of fucking earth, and then oil's like seeping into different layers it's not supposed to be in, and then contaminating aquifers. Dude, that's like some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And that's only within the last 200 years out of 4.5 billion on the planet Earth. How long is that? What fraction of a number is that? I don't even know. 200 out of 4, just divide 4.5 billion by 100. That's like, I'm stuck in math. 45 million. It's like, and then divide that by 2. 1/20 millionth of the time. You know, 20 million blocks of time, and one of them, we've done so much fucking, I mean, it's just, hopefully all that math's correct. I don't sound like a dumbass. Either way, whatever. 200 years, and we've done so fucking much. And what I see is that we're in like this rapid changing fucking time. And what I see also is people just like so caught up in the cultures of the time. It's like, what are y'all doing? Like, you know, I almost feel like it's mandatory that people have like a bigger level of fucking stuff, brain, thought, shit. So I got random shit going on. There's a street right here, and these cars always drive by, and some of them just, you know, they give me weird vibes and distract me. That's kind of why I got distracted. I think that was when I was talking about Theodore Roosevelt and his little fucking thing with the parks and shit. Back to the story though. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who think on different levels. You know, you got the people down here. I like Britney Spears. I like NSYNC and Michael Jackson and pop stars and Katy Perry and da 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 da. That's my whole life right there. I want to be just like them. Da da da. Then you got like scientists. They're like, oh well, the universe is 13.5 billion years old, and the black holes and possible multi-dimensional. Da da da. I think people need like a full spectrum of understanding so that, you know, you understand the, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong, scientists probably understand the, you know, whatever. I feel like that's almost necessary in life, is understanding history, okay? So that we can have a fucking, it gives you a sense of progress. When you have a sense of progress, it's like, you can see this stupid shit for what it is. I got too much shit going on, man. I can't really fucking record this shit no more. I already feel like this video's already just turned into a shit fart fucking video. I don't feel like talking no more. I really don't. Let me cut this shit off.